Welcome to Mic'd and Medicated.
And this is our first rodeo.
Yeehaw!
Yeehaw!
It is a beautiful 70-degree day here in New York City, and summer is in the air.
I didn't realize I was actually sitting next to Al Roker. So here you go. Let's head to your neck of the woods. So anyway, yes, it is summertime, even though I feel like we had zero spring. It just went from like 30 degrees to like 90. So like I'm feeling like, do I bring the white pants out? It's almost Memorial Day weekend. Like,
can we talk about white pants? Because I'm really confused. I feel like I can't find a pair of white pants that I actually like to wear, but yet everyone I know says they can't like live without their white pants in the summer.
Like, can you kind of give into more detail? You don't really make any sense. Like white pants, there's like 1,000 if you go and shop up. And it's like you're inundated with white pants. Like, what's the confusion?
Well, I don't know.
It's jeans,
I feel like my underwear shows through.
Do you wear a thong like a normal grown up?
I don't wear a thong anymore.
No, you wear like underwear,
panties?
like granny panties.
I wear, I think, like cute athletic undies.
That's an oxymoron. You cannot wear underwear unless you just had a baby, or you're like, you can't wear a tampon because you have a deficiency in learning how to do that, and you have to wear a pad. That's
or it's the nighttime period undies.
Oh no, I don't do that. I just
wait. I know this isn't what our episode is about,
Yeah,
but do you guys wear thongs when you work out at Tracy?
I actually go underwearless.
Oh, I wear a thong.
Well, I wear like my aloe or whatever pants, so they're, you know, they wick, they are the right sports pants, so they actually dry versus having like a cotton underwear that's disgusting. They'll like stay wet, sweaty.
Okay, well, I think we're going to have an episode in our future where you take me white jean shopping.
I think first we're going to start with the undergarments, and we are going to take you to get some thongs, okay? I mean,
I might have them in my home. I just don't use them.
Okay, we're going to throw them out. We're going to get new ones. And we're going to, like, if you had to pick a fashion idol. Like,
I think I have hanky-pankies from, like, when I was 20 in New York City.
Okay, we're going to get you some new ones.
Wait, do people still wear hanky-pankies?
Yes, they do, but they were purchased probably a few weeks ago. Oh, my God. There was actually a great meme. It's a great meme where it's like, my kids have all the best clothes with my bras from, like, 1998.
Oh, that's me.
Yeah, that's definitely
actually
you.
My kids don't have all the great clothes and my bras from 1998.
Yeah, we're actually going to stay tuned. We are going to do, I don't know if there's any Clueless fans listening to us. I love Cher. We are going to do a Cher and Dion, Gelman being Dion, I'm going to give myself Cher, moment where we go into Ty's closet, Eva.
Ooh, I'm tired.
And we are going to shake things up, okay?
I'm ready. I can't wait.
Doug is actually, even though he's cautious about spending money, he's going to be excited.
He's going to be so excited.
Do you like my word
choice? We're going to go shopping cautious, in your closet.
Yeah, frugal, not cheap. Anyway, whenever I think of white pants, I think of Courtney getting stressed out about her move out to the Hamptons because she likes to have everything organized. So you know what time it is. It is tote taxi time. Have you booked tote taxi yet?
Yeah, I'm not stressed. I have Danielle booked. I got the date. I'm already starting to think about what toys we're going to pack. I'm good.
Wow. I mean, for those of you who don't know, because I just love the idea of tow taxi because all of your stuff, instead of shoving it in your car where you can't see, because we're all really shitty drivers, you know, and totally. Like your husband will be like, why are there so many bags? Like the house has stuff. So I love tow taxi because your husband thinks you're like totally practical and you only have like the most important things for the summer. He doesn't realize you got a whole Sprinter.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, baby.
Following you up. I mean, that is amazing. I love tow taxi.
Tow taxi literally saves my life every summer because I can't even travel for vacation without a checked bag.
Duh.
So imagine when I rent a house for the summer and I want to bring basically my entire summer wardrobe out and my kids' summer wardrobes out and the toys. So tote taxi is a service that literally will move all of that stuff out there for you in their Sprinter and place it into your house like seamlessly within the same day. So you're just like, you're good to go. Then you just start unpacking and you enjoy your summer.
And they send you a tracker, which is so cool. So
yes.
If you have like things you're worried about, you literally, it's like Uber, like you can see where it's going.
Yeah, I get like the text like tote taxi's on its way. And then like, oh, it's 5 minutes away. It's arriving. And then like, again, on the way out there, it'll say like 5 minutes away from your destination. And then, like all your stuff is being handled and trusted by this amazing owner, Danielle, who, by the way,
female founder.
You know that we are all female founding business now. I have so much respect for her because she went and thought of this idea that was so needed.
Yeah.
And it doesn't even go to the Hamptons. It goes all across, like the New York area. So,
and she even goes to Florida.
Yeah. For all those snowbirds.
Well, for me, like during COVID, like I remember she literally saved my life because, well, not actually, but kind of, because I had packed up every single thing. I had a newborn at the time and a 3-year-old. And obviously, and like, it didn't all fit in my car. And I reached out to her and she was like, don't worry. Like if we'll get all the stuff out to you, like within 24 hours in COVID, like this is March 2020.
Yeah.
She got everything out. And like through that time period, even if it was one bag, she would like get it for me. And I still use her because let me tell you, I guess when I go to the Hamptons, the pharmacies are inundated with psychotic New Yorkers on a lot of prescriptions. They're like, I'm sorry, we don't have my Prozac today. We don't have my Paxil. So I'm like, okay, so I'll call Zittermers. And they're like, no problem. We'll have it ready for you in 1 hour.
Yeah.
Call Danielle, tow taxi. She brings it out, track my goods because that's important.
They do those.
And those
are deliveries
zero
in addition
refills,
to the mini moves,
right?
Yeah.
Zero refills. So if I lose that, I'm in trouble, and
Totally.
so I'm tracking that.
Yeah.
So I think it's great. Are you feel jealous? Do you want to tow taxi now, Eva?
I have to say, I am sold. This sounds like such an incredible service. And knowing that they do the whole New York State area, and Doug and I summer in Bedford now, I'm sure I will have some resistance, but I would like to
Don't worry, because actually we have a discount code because you probably didn't know because this was so seamless because it is so authentic. But this was actually a sponsor from Tow Taxi. So Eva, not only do we have you covered, we've got a discount code for Doug. And for all of you, our discount code, which don't worry, we will post, is capital in the budget 10. If you can't spell that, don't listen to the podcast.
Yes. And thank you, Tote Taxi, for sponsoring this episode. As I said, we love you and we couldn't do any of this without you when we schlep out to the Hamptons. So
we couldn't have our second home without you. So thank you. Thank you for allowing us to do that, to prosper in the summer. But I think we should really get started on what this episode is about. And we're titling it, Where Do You Summer?
Yes, that is the big question.
You tell them, Betsy.
Yes, Muffy the Third I am. I will tell you where we summer. In a cottage in Newport.
It's funny you use that voice. So the first time I was asked the question, I will never forget. My children went to Episcopal nursery school, and I think it was George when he was, probably in the 3s program. And we used to on Fridays go to the 69th Street Park. That's 69th and 5th Central Park for those who don't live in the city. And
thank you for that update.
And we were, hanging out while the kids were swinging and running around the sandbox. And a woman asked me, where do you summer? And I thought, I summer where I fall, winter, and spring.
That's
in
amazing.
New York City. Because we didn't go anywhere. And honestly, I actually, until a few years ago, didn't have a second home. And that was in large part because like the idea of lugging bags every Friday after a long week working and then packing, unpacking, packing, unpacking, both at the beginning and the end of the weekend. Nothing about that seemed relaxing. But I will say, like when the summer came, I definitely felt, like a little bit of a have-not.
Yeah, I mean, I think, first of all, I love New York City that I think it's probably the only place in the country where summer is a verb, like where do you summer? Because, it's not if you live in the suburbs, or maybe you open your pool or you do this. But New York City is definitely a place that if you have, you leave, right?
Right.
And it's definitely, once I would say schools are out, you see the haves versus the have-nots. It's very interesting. And I wouldn't say it was a have-not because I feel like I've always been very lucky and privileged. But yeah, I didn't go out to the Hamptons until I was like in high school. I didn't even know it existed. So I didn't really know people were missing. I just was like, went on a bus to day camp. It was very hot. And on the weekends, we went to a country club in Westchester, or we'd pack up a tote. We'd drive an hour and a half, fight over who was listening to Blink-182 or Ace of Base or whatever, get there, spend a day, go home, do it again. So And
That's
then-
what we did. I mean, for years and years and years, we belonged to a club in Greenwich, and we would do
That sounds so roughing it.
But I will say, when your husband leaves at 6 a.m. to go golf and you're going out with the kids and the bags.
Yeah, no, that's rough.
It was not as luxurious as living in the Hamptons for the summer.
No, but it was better than your kids being barefoot on the sprinklers.
Which my kids also did.
In the park.
Because during the week, like if you're summering, you don't just leave for the weekends, you leave for the entire summer. And because I always worked full time, we were in the city during the week. So even if we had a club to go out to on the days and the weekends, like my nanny and my kids would go to Central Park during the week in June. And literally not one of their friends was in the park with them. Like everybody else had, as you said, left.
Yeah. Well, now it's a little different. Now we got fentanyl on the sprinklers, but you know, you had the good old days, you know? But yeah, no, it definitely, summer is a very weird time where I think even if you're in the city on a weekend, you're like, oh, I feel kind of weird. Like I'm in the city. But some people love it because you can get a reservation anywhere. There's not a lot of traffic. I think it's interesting though. You do see the haves and the have-nots.
Well, the Upper East Side feels like a ghost town.
No, it's like COVID. It's like it's crazy. And it's actually just funny because how people get there, when are you going? But the fact that people just assume you're either going to the Hamptons or you're summering is just so amazing.
Right. And I think it's funny because people go all different places. So people go to Nantucket, people go to Bedford, Westport, Connecticut, people go to Litchfield, Connecticut, Washington, Connecticut, Rhode Island. But there's something about the Hamptons.
Yeah. And actually, apparently, if you're local to the Hamptons, like you're not a person who summers there, you don't even call it the Hamptons. You are specific about your town. But it's a very New York Upper East Side thing to be like the Hamptons, But I think so. Even
talking for Kelly Ripa, who says Long Island.
Well, that's retarded.
I've grown up watching her say that.
But again, this is really the true reveal of the have and the have-nots, and it goes farther than just people who are actually summering. Because then once you get out there, right, you realize because people are living in apartments, and yes, the fancy buildings, and who has something or what. But pretty much the only thing you're seeing a display of wealth are people's Birkins, their jewelry. Otherwise, it's a little more hush-hush. But you literally can see wealth, like with the homes, the hedges, the trees. I mean, the landscaping is so expensive. Like literally you see people who have money growing on trees. No, but actually.
And like
$100,000 for a certain tree. Who would have thought that?
When you go out there, there's also such a premium on your hedges and your trees and your lawns. We visit often, and I always remark it never gets old. Just you cannot drive by a home or be visiting somebody without there being multiple gardeners and workers tending to the lawns.
No, there's I feel like the big thing I'm always hearing people who live in really big estates are I can never relax. The guys are
let me
hedging,
get out my small violin.
And then they're spraying for the ticks, and then they're spraying for the mosquitoes.
Irony of it all, right?
Right? You can't even relax. You're spraying for the bugs, and then you're spraying. The tennis guy's coming and he's sweeping it, and then you got the pool heater.
I have to say, I feel that with my rental. The second I actually go and sit down at the pool, the lawn mowing man comes out, and it's fuck.
Yeah, I agree. And my parents live in a house where they have a lot more of those, where my house, Jeremy's will sometimes get a hammer out and he's going to fix something. And I'm can you stop? I want to read. Or the kids are swimming in the pool and I'm alone. And he's I'm going to fix that broken fence all the way in the back so I could be no help to you. And that's the moment.
Right.
And we also, my husband likes to not spray a lot because it's expensive or clean the pool a lot. So we have a lot of, my kids are I don't like our pool. Let's go to Gigi and Pop's pool. There's so many bugs here. I'm isn't it great? Look at this frog compound in the pool.
Wait, can we talk about the pool for a minute?
Yeah.
Because our home in Bedford has a pool. And the whole reason you have a pool is to enjoy it and be able to swim at your convenience. And whenever we go out to Bedford, the pool is frozen.
Duh.
And then I'm the pool's too cold. And he's oh, let me heat it. And I'm but it's summertime.
It takes 5 days to heat up.
Right.
It's 1 degree,
So it's
an hour.
why-
when you're going to put the heater on.
Right. It's you need to wear a scuba suit to swim in your pool.
That's amazing. Well, cold plunges are trendy. No, it's a crazy thing. And I think it does not matter how wealthy you are. There's something about people who are paying the heating bill feel like they are being raped. Sorry to use that word on the gas bill. It's so extortionate. You're right. why do we have a fucking pool? We might as well blow up one of those pools or get one of those, in the trailer parks where they have like the upper pool and fill it up with hot water. Cause I can't go in it. It's fucking freezing except for 2 weeks in July where it's 100 degrees and the pool's naturally heated. But if my husband puts his foot in and feels it's comfortable, he'll freak out. He'll be like, how many days has the heater been on? How many days? And I'm like, I don't know. Maybe it takes like 5 days. It's been raining. Nobody's been swimming. It's been on for 5 days. 5 days. Like in Mrs. Doubtfire, just like, the whole time.
But it's so funny. Like, what is the trigger for people? I mean, I guess for
That's
a lot
trigger.
of people, it's the pool. So like, they wake up, they go to their $8,000 Tracy mat.
It's not $8,000, Eva. Can we just not? Don't yuck my yum.
They then go get their $40
not
coffee
that much
and
less,
berries.
Cara.
Okay, and it's not $40 for iced coffee. It's like $9, which is a rape. Also, I don't think I should say that word, but it is.
No,
and
they're sorry.
I'm being raped on the prices.
So $40 if they buy, a pint of berries with it. And then they go home and it's the pool.
Well, yeah. I mean, but you can't swim. You can't swim in your own pool.
By the way,
it's too cold.
I totally,
For Jason, it's the round
agree.
swamp bag. When he sees me come in with that bag, oof, how much did you spend? How much?
I know.
Was it over $100? Of course it's over $100. It's round swamp.
Right. Meanwhile, like he's paying a fortune for you to be in this rental, but it's the fucking food bag.
Yeah.
That's what I mean.
I know.
Exactly.
How many farm stand stops did you make?
Well, that's like what it's about. Like you want to have great food. It's not like we're obnoxious going, this is a whole other thing too. And I just love this about the Hamptons. And I'm sure people are going to listen to me and hate listen and be like, that's so mean. Like I actually do that. Where wealthy women swap luxury goods with each other. Like they go to these like lunch day events and it's like, buy this, I'll buy your product that you lose money on and you buy my product. And, their husbands are like sweating, like working their ass off. And
there's a whole, did you see that video that was
it's
made?
brilliant.
It's brilliant.
Yeah, where the woman's like, well, the husband has to be in the city the whole time. And he's like, well, who will take care of me? Will the nanny be there? Oh no, the nanny won't be there. I give her the summer off. And he's like, great. Well, that means we'll save money in the nanny. Oh no, we have to, we have to pay the nanny.
Yeah, I love that.
We have to pay the nanny so we don't lose her. And he's like, so I will have no food and no sex like during the week.
But speaking of that, the other thing about summering is you sort of have to bring your entourage with you wherever you summer. And
unless your kids are at camp the whole time, then you don't have like a nanny. Like, what does that happen?
But like everyone I know who goes to the Hamptons, like I feel like that must be part of the deal because I feel like the nannies are usually there too. You don't bring your nanny ever to the Hamptons?
Yeah, of course I bring help. What are you talking about?
That's my point. So it's
I
not
thought
just
you
like
meant having a nanny when your kids are at sleepaway camp.
No, but it's not just like for yourself.
Oh, no,
like
you gotta
coordinate.
Yeah, everyone packs up.
That's what I was trying to
goes on out there.
No, you have to coordinate a whole schedule, and it's like, is your housekeeper going to come? Are you going to come now on a Monday? I got to get the fish as an automatic fish feeder and the dog's food. She gets.
And like the travel, like, cause like when we bring somebody else in our car, like you don't all fit in one car. It's a lot of organizing.
Well, that's why luckily
logistics.
I'm lucky that I get to summer for the whole summer. I go out there because of COVID, the landscape is different. And my husband is an entrepreneur. And so he has to travel for work, but his home base is in the Hamptons where he works, which I actually get PTSD from. From COVID days. Him working at home is hard for me. I'm like, don't you want to get an office somewhere? Because he thinks he's seeing me all the time, but it's not really seeing me. So it's not like you come home from work and there's boundaries and you're like, hello, family. It's like he thinks he's around all the time. So it's this kind of weird thing. But it's better than him being in the city, where husbands might have sex with their secretaries and then I would have to go play mahjong and drink Chardonnay with friends.
Oh dear. I don't know where to go from that.
Well, I think we can talk about how wealth is shown in the Hamptons or Bedford. I guess Bedford's probably a little more understated class than the Hamptons, but I think also it's not just a wealth divide. I think which is so interesting is there's a cultural divide. I think up until recently, probably in the past 30 years, it wasn't a place Jews went to summer. Wealthy Jews went to like Westport. Not as wealthy. I mean, Jews were technically in urban environments. So you went to Grossingers, which was actually apparently fancy. Went to Kutcher's, if I bring in my like Esta character, you schlepped upstate because you were hot in the city or in your apartment in Queens and you went out there and you tried to get your son or daughter married with another Jew and you were at the, it was like a camp for grownups, like Dirty Dancing. So then when we got a little bit more established, we started to go to the Hamptons but not like Southampton proper, probably like other areas. So you see there's not just the wealth divide, like do you live north of the highway or south of the highway, which is a big thing. South of the highway is where wealthier people technically live because it's closer to the summer, or it's more expensive.
Closer to the beach too.
But it's closer to the beach, but it's also like certain clubs you can't go to. Like it's very like 1950s out there. Like Jews are not allowed to go to certain clubs. It is a known thing. Like the beach clubs that I can get into are like 3 guys at the beach. Like that's what it feels like. And I go to it. It's like not as good as the Bathing Corp or all these places, which I get. Like we're like loud and whatever. But I mean, you go to this beach club and it's like Essa comes out. It's like being in Kutches. It's like Kutches at the beach.
Okay, a couple of things. I think that's the way it is everywhere. I think clubs are this interesting legacy that never became inclusive. I mean, some have, but I feel like very Jews, few. Because they don't want to like fight and be part of what other people are doing. They just establish their own clubs.
No, we don't do that because we don't want to fight it. It's because we can't. They don't want us. We can't get in. So we started another one.
Fine. So like we belong to a club in Greenwich and it's the club Doug's parents belong to. So I also think summer brings out like another divide, which is like people who have like the deep family roots and just like do what their parents did and have big communities versus people who are much more kind of forging a new path on their own in New York City and then have to figure out summer on their own. Totally. So we belong to a club in Greenwich where Doug's parents belonged. Actually, where Doug's parents met and where Doug's grandparents belonged on his mother's side. And we're like, so there are a lot of parents.
Is that a Jewish club?
It's actually amazing. It's a golf, tennis, swim club.
That's not what I asked you.
That feels very, it's funny. When I first started going there, it was very, I want to say waspy. I don't know if that's like a term I'm allowed to use.
Yeah, of course.
And it was not Jewy at all. Now it's changed because the complexion, like when we started going, it was 50% from New York City, similar to other clubs like Century.
They also probably needed money. So when the Jews were like, hey, we got some. We'll
and now they have a lot of people from Scarsdale and Rybrook. So like the complexion of
that's not
people.
Yeah, because I visited your club a few times and I feel like has a nice Jewish representation.
Right, but it wasn't like that. If you had visited, like when I started going, it was much more formal. But everyone's relaxed because that's how these clubs have to stay in business. Like you couldn't have kids under 2 in the dining room. There was a separate area for kids under 12.
When we went to a country club in Westchester. It was the same thing. It was like no nannies. You had to be potty trained. Like what fucking bullshit is that?
When George was born.
Our beach club in Bridgehampton is literally the opposite. It's like, you got a checkbook? Come on in.
No, that's what it's like. And it's great. And let me tell you.
Write your nanny's name down on the sheet.
It's a fight every March when they send the renewal form. My husband's like, seriously? Do we need to do this? Can you just bring your own towels and chairs to the beach? And I'm like, no. I need a bathroom and I need an umbrella and you're never going to do it. And we'll never go to the beach. We might as well, no offense, be in Bedford if we're not going to go to the beach. That's the whole point.
Right. By the way, I agree with you. It's like the one thing I miss being in Bedford is the beach. And I'm always amazed how often we go to visit people in the Hamptons and never see the beach. So I don't think everyone is
because people who are not at a beach club don't want to fucking schlep their shit. I mean, my husband who literally is so like Eastern European, like he will get fried for a minute. He doesn't understand summer. It's actually really funny. And if you know him, you're going to die. Like he wears jeans to the pool. It's really a buzzkill.
Totally.
It's a fucking buzzkill. Like it'll be 100 degrees. He's not. I'm like, wear your prescription sunglasses. He's wearing eyeglasses. He's sweating. He's got his leather briefcase, and he's wearing
like
jeans.
Leather loafers.
Yeah, like Todd's, suede Todd's.
I'm like, Jason, and Jason's got his like long sleeve Lululemon and collared shirt.
Okay, Jason looks like a giant toddler when he goes to the beach. Okay.
Cherry really does. She used to have the natives.
Wait, but I thought Jason looks like a giant toddler when he goes to Sentimental.
Okay, all the time. I married a giant toddler. Love you, Jace.
Wait, now he carries a snack bag too. No, Jason. Okay, Jason wears lotion all over his face. He's not rubbed in. He wears. Okay, he wears a rash guard. Okay, I'm sure. And then he wears native shoes, which if you have little kids, they're like these like sneaker looking. He basically wears aqua socks.
No, they are literally natives that the kids wear in adult size.
It's not
those
good.
like native.
Oh my god!
So you have like Jason, giant toddler, and then you have Jeremy who's like, I'm really hot. I'm like, yeah, because you're wearing fucking jeans. And, I think he does it as a defense mechanism. So I won't say, can you help me? Like, can you go swim in the pool with the kids? I got to change. I got to take out my wallet and my, keys, and I got the whole thing. And I'm like, fucking I hate you. Summer, I love summer. Oh my God.
Where's
like someone has to pay for this.
Where's Summer Jeremy?
Someone has to pay for this party.
I can see that. I can see
that.
He looks like a Tucker the Third,
He's happy. He's relaxed. He's got the golf gear. He knows how to do the change into the swim and be in the pool all afternoon with the kids. But it's like, when the men are in the pool all afternoon with the kids, you are grateful because I don't know if you're like me, I do not ever get in the pool. But your kid could be drowning and like 3 men are by the side talking about the golf. They
actually don't pay attention. It's actually very interesting because I'm like really crazy about water safety. Really important. Like you have to talk to them like they're a child. Like, Jeremy, I'm going to the bathroom. You're watching the kids in the pool. And I'm like, with the finger in my eyes, I'm like, look at me.
But I find that really hard at our beach club, by the way, because we're both schmoozing with like, hi.
Yeah, then it's probably me watching.
And then both of us are not looking at the kids.
Right, so I'm watching.
You're watching my kids.
I am.
Can we go back to the beach club? Because I know this beach club.
And the great tennis court.
Okay, so 2 things.
But the food is inedible. Okay. But it doesn't have the mayonnaise that you have at the Waspy Club. So there you go. It's fat-free. Fat-free, taste-free.
So I have been lucky to be a guest of somebody on multiple occasions, guest of a few different people. One, it seems very lovely to me.
I mean, your fashion idol is Eileen Fisher. Okay. And you're a Marriott stayer. So your standards are a little lower.
Okay, that might be true. But I will say that everyone I know who belongs there actually hates it, sort of. It's very funny.
It's like you're paying for something that you're just don't feel like you're getting the bang for the buck. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like I'm like the chairs that I'm paying to have at the beach are not even fucking comfortable. Sorry, that was a rusty nail in my ass. Like that's literally the chairs.
But I also think what's kind of funny about it is
I'm still paying and going.
It's also the people. So it's like everyone who belongs there feels the same way, even though
I've had
discussions. They all
discussions.
Make up the same community.
I've said, why don't we? I said, what? Let's fix the food. People are still going to join. Doesn't matter. They don't care. I love the beach. Even if the chair has a nail protruding in my asshole, and a towel with holes on it, but I'll hide. Like I'll wear a huge hat.
You and me both.
I'm like Alias, and I'll go straight up, and then I might text Courtney and be like, "I'm here, but I'm reading. So if you want to see me, just don't make it a thing. Not like I'm a fucking celebrity.
So I have
to
admit, my husband is very social. He has so many friends. So he likes to go to all of the events, and I mean, I have some wonderful, amazing friends at the club. Actually, and I love to play tennis and I love to eat there, and hopefully I think the food's amazing. Sometimes Doug will be we'll leave the party at like 11 and Doug will be like, did you have fun tonight? And I'll be yeah, and he'll be like, who'd you talk to? I was like, well, I talked to so-and-so and so-and-so. And then I went and sat in the ladies' room and read my book.
In the ladies' room?
Why did you do that?
What if someone takes a shit
no,
while you're there?
Meaning the
ladies' locker room. Yeah. Oh,
because
do they have free candy and stuff?
Yeah, they have a
great you guys have a nice girthy locker room.
But it's very Laura Ashley. It's not.
No, I can picture that. Like yellow with the flowers. That was like our country club in Westchester.
Yes. I recently went to another Westchester club with our other friends and there was a little candy bar and my kids loved it.
Can we just talk about this? I don't know. I think I inherited this from my mom. Thanks, Mom, for making me like a hotel klepto. But I will go to country clubs and I will take everything that's free. I can't help it. I cannot help it. I will my dad has this golf club. It's like really cool and she whatever. And they have little bottles and they've got Tylenol packets and Advil packets and Benadryl and this. And it's like, I get a high. It's fucking free.
Totally.
And my dad is paying an extortionate amount of money to be a member. And I think I'm getting off on something, I open my bag and my mom's like, did you get the floss? Did you get this? I'm like, I got it all.
Well, at my club, they just did away with water bottles and they are having everybody pick up one of those reusable waters. And I feel so bad because I think of myself as environmentally conscious and careful. But
that's going to break the needle.
I feel like one of the best perks of being at the club was the Poland Springs water bottles.
Yeah, that's a good freebie, actually.
Yeah.
They probably have the plastic bags you put your wet bathing suit in. So.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That's so funny. I'd rather them get rid of that than my water bottle.
Isn't it so bad, though, when you do go to the clubs and they have like the giant size shampoo so you can't steal it?
Oh yeah.
You know,
No,
where
at
it's
the
like
hotels.
it's in the.
They do that at the
mean.
Marriotts now. I hate that.
Well, that's your fault for saying in a Marriott.
Totally.
I'm sorry. And
or there's nothing good. I know I've hit rock bottom when I'm at a hotel and I actually can't think of anything I want to take from the.
That's how you know it's a
From the
shitty
bathroom.
one. Right.
Exactly.
It's like swap. What's like, I'm trying to think of like a shitty company that would make your, it's like, I don't even know what's shitty.
Gilchrist Soames.
Although I will say sometimes when you're at a very fancy hotel, which I know you've been at a few, sometimes it's so fragranty. Like I was at a hotel the other, and it was Guerlain. Fuck wants Guerlain products. You know, like my grandma wears Guerlain perfume to this day. I remember being at the 3rd Avenue Fair in 1999. And I was like, my grandma's here. Like I could smell her perfume from 5 blocks. Like no one wants that for every product. It's
I'll still
very
take it.
strong. No, it's very strong.
But it's pretty, and it's pretty to display the bottles in your guest room.
No, they're not. They look like you stole them from a hotel. It's not like nice. They're too small to put out on display. That's when you hide in the drawer.
I have that drawer when you come
Of course.
over.
When you stay with me this weekend, you'll see I've got all my stolen products. Just don't judge me. But I do think that it is interesting. It's not only is the cultural divide about the clubs or where you live, or if your family's had an estate that's like falling apart because it's like they've had it for like 200 years. Then you got like my parents who got in 2003 and it's like, you know, I have to keep it up and new. But the old money has like the beautiful homes with ivy that like everything you open, it's creaking. So the activities are also culturally different.
Mm-hmm.
Like I can speak for my family, but we're not big into like actual active sports. You know, my dad will golf. That's as active as we get. And like my sport is like Tracy Anderson. And my husband will go for a walk, but we're not sailing. We're not kayaking. We're not gardening. We got people like, we're not doing that.
Wait, what about paddleboarding? That's a big thing out in the Hamptons.
I feel like a lot of us, like me, my family were scared of the ocean. Like, but my son took surfing lessons and my family literally was like, this can't happen anymore. Pool activities only. Like actually, I was the only kid where my dad got me a scuba diving lesson and it was in the pool.
No,
I have taken a scuba diving lesson in a pool.
Well, you have
which
to
was
start in the pool,
fabulous.
but I never like graduated. That was a whole other story. But anyway, yeah.
But then what happened when you got out into the water?
I had a panic attack and I saw a fish and I go, I'm never doing this. And the guy's like, the point is to see fish, ma'am. This is the other thing in the Hamptons that I love seeing. The old money people are just the not anxious humans. I'm not going to say all Jews are like me because that's just, I'm not going to say that. Biking barefoot, no helmet, with like a basket, with like a dog in the basket, no leash. Like that is my wet dream. I don't care how much meds you give me. I could never do it. Not wearing a hat because they don't care about sun damage. Like they just relax, man. I'm like
careless and fancy free, and
it's just fucking fearless and carefree. Like I could never get there ever. No, ever. Even my son, like when people are biking without helmets, it's so funny because clearly, you know, apple doesn't fall far from the tree. He's like, "You're a moron. Put your helmet on."
Oh my God, I love it. He's probably yelling at my kids.
Yeah, probably. But it is true what you see the difference in people. And then I've seen like some people are really anxious with helmets with these elliptical things that are like bike ellipticals outside.
Well, let's talk about the whole exercise routine out there because I do feel like you're summering and you're trying to have this like relaxed experience, but I think the exercise world is even more intense out there than it is in the city.
Well, everything moves, you know, from New York City out there. That's how New Yorkers are now. Like we need conveniences. We need what we love. That's why Toad Taxi does great, right? We need our comforts. So everybody just gears up. And like, I love Tracy Anderson. And like, yes, should I be running outside more and be more active and enjoying the beautiful weather? Fuck yeah. But I like to do my Tracy Anderson. So it is insane. They overcharge you. All the activities are crazy. Waitlist. It's just a fucking shit show. Parking. It's a nightmare, but it's, you know what? I get a high from it maybe. I don't know.
The first time I did.
That's where I met you for the first time.
Right. But no, I was saying the first time I did Soul Cycle was in the Hamptons.
In the barn.
I was just thinking about
my
Super Soul. You had to like spend like 5 times the price.
I can't really remember right now who I was with, but I remember we drove up to the barn and I was terrified. I just looked
I could see you being terrified there.
I looked up at the deck and it was a sea of
Birkins and people.
No, not like, Birkins. Everyone was in their athletic gear.
No. They had their Birkins.
No. I think Caroline's right. And literally
their Soul Cycle shoes are in their Birkin.
Took like a sampling of women from Bergdorf's and just like transported them to the barn. It was so anxiety producing because I had to rent shoes. Like I didn't even have
Were you like
shoes.
in like, what's that company called? Not North Face, but like.
Yeah.
like a North Face outfit or something. I could see, or like an old T-shirt.
I was in probably an old T-shirt and shorts. And I mean,
like
I
Dartmouth,
loved it.
1997.
Yes.
And everyone's in like, at the time, like Lululemon or whatever was
Oh my
hot.
God, it was so scary. And the haircuts and the
Because everybody goes to
sunglasses.
Valerie Joseph.
It was that haircut. Yeah. It was terrifying. I think the Hamptons can be very intimidating if you're not from there. And I think what happens that's also really interesting is...
Or if you're a renter like me, I remember feeling very anxious driving up to the barn. Is there a spot? Am I going to be late? Gotta get a bike.
No offense. If you owned a mansion or rented a house, you're going to be like that.
Yeah, that's true. That's just
but
personality.
but I do think there's a difference if you are somewhere where you have family and an installed base versus like you're figuring it out on your own.
No, I'm very lucky that I get to mooch off my parents for meals. They have a chef on the weekends, and I don't just come for the food, Mom and Dad, but it doesn't hurt. And it's great. Well,
how do you live in the Hamptons if you don't have a chef? Because again,
I don't have a chef for like 5 days of the week.
You can't get a reservation to eat anywhere. You don't order in there, do you? Is it like the city?
You could order in. I mean,
pick up and order in.
Also, the food is nice. You could cook something. It's like a crazy thing to think about. But you get a nice tomato from the guy.
I do like to cook on Friday nights.
I guess you could also eat at your club.
There's no dinner.
There's
no dinner at the club.
Stop it.
It's more of a day club. But no, you can get reservations but yes, having a chef is better anywhere, any time of the year. Summer, winter, fall, or spring. Yeah.
Right. I would love a chef.
Me too. That's one of our goals, baby. That's why this got to get successful.
And I feel like when we were younger, we used to make the trek when people would throw parties.
You can make fun of me because I love a good party. But for me, I only kind of understand spending the money if it's for like a big milestone birthday or it's something. I don't understand. Happy Wednesday. Let's have a $100,000 party, you know?
But I think in the Hamptons, that's very commonplace.
Because you know why? It's social leverage. So people want to have these big parties. So they have them. So then you have to invite them to your party.
Right.
It's interesting.
But Doug will say that reciprocating is really nice. So like if you're always going to parties and you don't have a party, right? Because every year Doug says to me,
Doug would not say that if you went to the kind of parties we're talking about. No, he's like, I don't want a party like this either.
Every year Doug wants to have a party at our house in Bedford, and every year I shut him down. I'm just like, no. So everyone out there,
why don't you let him? I just want you guys see what the bill looks like.
Yeah, as Mel Robbins. Yeah, but he would literally buy some hot dogs.
Yeah, he'd be like, it's party
fire up the grill.
No, but like I want everyone to know in the Bedford, Westchester, Connecticut area, we love you. And if it were up to Doug, we'd entertain you, 10 times every summer. But Curmudgeon Eve is always like, I love entertaining and having dinner parties. 8,
me too.
10, 12
me
people.
too. I love dinner parties.
But if Doug wants to invite everyone and have, 150 people.
No, that's insane. It's a whole thing. I just did Jeremy's 40th and it was, luckily I did a topping rose. So
look at you. Oh, miss. Why do people have these big fancy parties?
It was cheaper because it was at a place. I had notes, didn't have to pay for valet.
But why have I heard of Topping Rose?
Because I invited you to his party.
Oh, maybe that. But no,
it's a really nice hotel and restaurant.
It was,
by the way, I saved the invitation that you sent out for Jeremy's birthday.
Do you hear that, Jeremy? It was worth it, even though nobody opens their mail. He was very upset about the paper.
Oh, Jeremy, that was a genius invitation. And I loved having a paper cutout face of you in my kitchen.
It's so great, right? You should have been there. It stirs with his face.
I was so sad. We would have been there, but we were in Greece. So we nothing would have kept me away from celebrating you, Jeremy, except that we were in
a better place. Except for
doing
Santorini.
The summer vacation. Yes,
yeah,
we should talk about that after
you know what else I wanted to talk about? The commuting, like how people are getting to the Hamptons too. Like this is also funny. It's like people get the chopper ready. The seaplane.
Oh, Blade.
Yeah. Or like, are you on the jitney? Wah, wah.
Or what about the train?
The train, but then you can't stand. You might have to stand if you're on the train. Then it goes to Jamaica Queens and you transfer. It's a whole thing.
And who takes the jitney?
I think people young people. Also,
I always see people in the city standing.
People take the jitney. I do think it is funny. I do notice like on Monday mornings, you'll see like all the nannies getting picked up from the jitney.
Nanny train.
It's like the husbands are like on the Blade going to the office for Monday morning on the seaplane. And then you see all the nannies like getting picked up in the jitney.
To go to the Hamptons.
No, like they're getting picked up in Bridgehampton, like from like the moms, including myself, are picking up.
Somebody. Oh,
no, right. There's a notable nanny train that rolls on in.
Nanny train, nanny jitney. It's like the
morning.
Monday 10 a.m.
Yeah.
And then they leave like Friday. And the husbands some husbands come on this, and then you hear the whoosh, whoosh, choppers of the husbands.
I love it.
Yeah, it's a bizarre world. I'm happy to be a part of it. I think once you have it, like I didn't go to the Hamptons until I was like 15, and now that I go, it'd be hard to take it away.
I have mixed feelings about this personally because I grew up having it and then like losing it and then feeling envious of my friends who had it and feeling like I had to get invited. Only could I go out there if my friends would invite me. And
How
I'd be, like,
old were you when you lost it? Like, did you have a home in the
middle,
Hamptons?
high school? Yeah, my parents would also rent, and then it was like they couldn't do it anymore.
Yeah, I think it's
that
much
was harder
to like have it and lose it.
So now that we do, I'm constantly struggling with like, I do really want my kids to understand this is a super big privilege that they're very lucky to have. And it's because Jason works really hard and it's not normal. And, you know, there's all these like events and set up kids sports instructions,
birthday parties with circuses.
Parties,
yeah, it's crazy.
I want them to know that that's really privileged, but I also want them to enjoy their summer and feel the beach and the nature. I feel truly like torn sometimes, but ultimately I think it's about just really making them understand how lucky they are.
I agree. Like when like Jeremy has to travel, my daughter's like so upset that he's working. I'm like, this is how we can do things. Like you have to understand there's a sacrifice. You're not handed to it. Obviously, some people are handed more than others, but like you got to understand that whoever originally was handed it wasn't handed it.
Yeah.
Somebody had to work hard.
Right. I do think it's important that my kids see Doug and I working hard because yes, somebody had to work hard, but I think it's much harder as a child to understand that money does not grow on trees. If literally
it's harder to start with a lot.
Our money on
is
trees.
Is like money on trees. Yeah.
No, my dad
100%.
always talks about this because he grew up in my mom grew up in New York City in a wealthier world, and my dad grew up in a much more like humble blue collar, like his parents didn't go to college. And he was like, yeah, so it was great to like not have those expectations. Like what you don't know, you don't know. Do you know what I mean? Like it was in him to be an ambitious hard worker, but like he didn't start with all that stuff. Also, the beauty of that was like his values were there. Like I learned all those good values, but it's much harder for our kids who are going to have this like as their benchmark. I feel like we could go on for a long time, but you know what I think?
There's a lot of rich content here, Caroline.
There's a lot of rich content. There's a lot of money growing on trees. And I think there's also a lot more topics to dig into. We really talked about like the grown-up summering. So, you know, stay tuned because next week we are going to come with you at summer camp. We're going to talk about everything. I don't have a kid going to sleepaway camp yet, but it is apparently way more expensive and complicated than I can even imagine.
Well, I can't wait to dig into all the camp stuff because I was the biggest camper. Now Ellie's going. There's a lot of things to discuss here. Camp consultants, how to
Jesus
pack,
Christ, I can't.
all that stuff. So
I was the biggest camp loser ever,
Next
so
week.
I'm excited to learn all this stuff. Thanks, Mom, for the camp catalog goods and the stationery from the Metropolitan Museum. Wah, wah. Well, anyway, I hope everybody who has not found a summer destination that you guys can live vicariously through us this summer as we journey to Bedford and the Hamptons in the next coming weeks.
Yeah. Well, we're going to be taking a lot of work trips.
You're going to be taking a lot of work trips to us, honey. We ain't coming to horse country.
It's a cruel
summer. It's a cruel summer. Dun-dun-dun. Who is that from the 80s?
Bedford. Just kidding.
In Bedford with the mosquitoes and the gnats that are not there because we spray in the Hamptons. But we don't skim our pools and they're very cold. But if you go to Bedford, everybody's money is old. And there's no 3 guys at the beach.
There's no 3 guys in Bedford.
But in the Hamptons, you can find a homegrown peach.
All right. I think we should mic drop.
I think we should mic drop before I keep going and rapping.
Thanks for listening to Mic'd and Medicated. We hope you loved listening to us.
But even if you didn't, we have zero shame. So still subscribe to our podcast, leave a comment, and a 5-star review.
And follow us on Instagram and slide into our DMs because they are wide open.
This show was created in New York City and hosted and produced by
Eva Heyman
and Caroline Leventhal. And mic drop.